It is time now for our weekly check-in with Jared Carrabis, a little segment we like to call the Takeoff. Jared gives us his take on the latest storylines across Major League Baseball. Jared, it's close to home for you, both literally and figuratively. And of course, I'm talking about the Boston Red Sox. You know I follow pretty closely as well. And this team, it's hot right now, putting some wins together, albeit about, maybe some bottom-of-the-barrel competition. That, to me, the people that shout that out, Jared, those are the excuse makers. Here's what I want to know. Are you ready? You going to say it? Are you going to say it?
I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it until June 28th, but I came prepared with some numbers. I did some digging this morning. I tweeted this out. Since Alex Cora shaved his beard on May 10th, the Boston Red Sox have the second best record in baseball. They're 18-8. They have the best offense in baseball. That is a fact. That is not an opinion. They lead Major League Baseball in batting average, on base, slugging, OPS, hits, doubles, runs, extra base hits, and total bases. What are we talking about here? This is the best offense in baseball. We've had this conversation a million times on here, but when are the Red Sox going to hit? The answer to that question is when Alex Cora shaves his beard. He shaved it. They are the best offense in baseball. That's a fact.
I just wish he'd done it a couple weeks earlier. They'd be that much better right now.
100%.
Well, we'll take it. We'll take whatever we can get, obviously. One of the little strings of success right now that the Red Sox are having, of course, that sweep in Oakland. And your podcast co-host, Dallas Braden, who everybody, I think, is familiar with, who's watching this segment, listens to the pod. And you guys had a little bet, a little friendly wager about that series. Didn't go his way. Is he living up to his end of the bargain?
He's not, and it's very disappointing. He's trying to finagle his way out of this bet, and the bet was, so since I moved into this new apartment, I haven't had anyone clean it. Like I certainly don't know how to clean it whatsoever. So I was like, all right, if the A's get swept by the Boston Red Sox, Dallas Braden is going to have to wear a maid outfit and clean my apartment. And now he's trying to walk it back. Now he's trying to say he didn't say that, but the podcast would indicate that not only did he agree, he doubled and tripled down on it. So it's going to be a bad look when the A's come to town next week and Dallas Braden is not in my apartment wearing a maid outfit cleaning this place.
How many pictures are going to hit social media when that happens? He's
we're
going to
document the whole thing. Yeah, we'll document the whole thing. We'll have it on video. We'll tweet out pictures. We'll maybe do like a mini documentary on the whole thing. How do you go from throwing a perfect game in Major League Baseball to wearing a maid outfit cleaning your podcast co-host apartment?
That's the 30 for 30 nobody wants to be part of right there.
100%.
I can't wait to see the short videos all over TikTok. All right, let's talk about the Yankees because, we kind of have to. They lead the AL East, but then you got the Yankees, the Rays, the Sox. They're all in the playoff picture as we're sitting here right now. So do you think this is going to hold? Are we going to see 4 AL East teams in the playoffs with this expanded format?
I think that's the most likely scenario. You look at the field right now, obviously the Angels are falling apart. I think that they'll rebound. But do I think that they're better than the Rays? No. Do I think that they're better than the Blue Jays? No. Do I think that they're better than the Red Sox? No. Things can happen. Obviously, teams with playoff spots can lose 12 straight games and counting. That does happen. But then the rest of the field, Cleveland, Chicago, I don't see it. With the White Sox, they're at least surprising that they're not performing to the level that we expected them to, but they've had their injuries. Obviously, they DFA'd Dallas Keuchel, who's now with the D-backs. So they've had some things not work out, and they've had their injuries. But as far as talent goes, you could make the case that if you're looking at the Yankees winning the division and you're looking at the rest of the 3 wildcard teams as it fills out, those are the 3 best teams in the American League. They all belong to the American League East.
So I was just going to ask you, there's always the possibility of these teams kind of beating the hell out of each other along the way. And so you get a couple that finish closer to 500. Maybe somebody sneaks in. But let's just say, I don't know, it's not totally top heavy and everyone handles the Orioles and then the other 4, they just do their business against everybody else. Is this the best division across all of baseball, not just the American League?
Yeah, I would say so in terms of length. The NL West is pretty top heavy. The Padres are legit. The Dodgers are what they are. They're great every year. But yeah, in terms of getting 4 teams that could potentially make the postseason, I would say, yeah, you would put the Red Sox in that conversation, or you would put the American League East in that conversation. But in terms of championship contenders, like believing that this team can win a World Series, I happen to like the NL West a lot.
This is how we talk about the Red Sox without talking about the Red Sox, and that is the fact that Martin Perez, a former member of the Red Sox, 31-year-old with a career ERA just south of 5, Jared, prior to this season, is second in the league in ERA. How's he doing this? Can he keep it up? And should we take plus 5,000 odds on the DraftKings Sportsbook for Cy Young seriously?
Yeah, I mean, so Martin Perez, when he signed with the Red Sox, his cutter was terrible. It was just getting absolutely lit up. And once he started abandoning that pitch and started focusing on what he's actually good at, we saw drastic results. This isn't a guy that's out there. I mean, he's pitching to contact a little bit. He's not out there throwing complete game shutouts with 12 strikeouts. I mean, he's getting it done. His first 2 starts, he lasted 4 innings in each of them. Gave up 3 earned runs in each of them. And since then, he's had 9 starts with an 0.88 ERA. He's allowed more than 1 earned run once. It was his last time out, and it was 2 earned runs. And he hasn't pitched fewer than 6 innings in his last 9 starts. So that just excludes his first 2 starts of the season. He's pitching with confidence. This is a guy that, we got to know a little bit here in Boston. He's very motivated. He has a chip on his shoulder. I remember having a conversation with him when the Red Sox moved him to the bullpen last year, and he was very discouraged and very upset about that because, you pitch to what your role is for sure. But this is a guy that obviously believed that there was a lot left in the tank and that he could offer more than just some sort of mop up bullpen role. And lo and behold, he goes back to the Texas Rangers, and he's been one of the best pitchers, not just in the American League, but in all of baseball this year.
You're not just the tribal chief of baseball on social media. You're also a big wrestling fan, so I don't want that to get lost here in Survivor Series coming to Boston in a matter of months as well. You're probably pretty excited about that. You were tweeting over the weekend, though. Let's show the people this. Cody Rhodes is a damn madman for actually working a Hell in a Cell match the same day he tore his damn pec off the bone. Holy poop, dude. This man deserves all the respect. What do you think? Like, who's the toughest guy in baseball? Who could handle this? Who could go after that man?
Oh, wow. I mean, I guess the comparison would have to be Bryce Harper, right? I mean, you have Cody Rhodes. And by the way, after Hell in a Cell went off the air, Cody Rhodes grabbed the mic and addressed the crowd and said, hey, I chose to go out there and perform. That was my decision. He needs surgery. He tore his pec off the bone that day, and it's 5 to 6 months to recover from that. And then you have Bryce Harper, another main event guy who tore his UCL, and he's out there just mashing homers. He's like, all right, if I can't throw the baseball, I can't play right field, I guess I'm just going to go out there and mash homers as a DH. And that's what he's doing. He's performing at a high level, and he's got a torn UCL while he's doing it.
As you know, we usually end this segment with giving you the freedom to just tell us your hottest take that's percolating inside that brain of yours. So aside from, totally demeaning tasks for Dallas Braden when he comes into town with the A's, what do you have for us this week?
So here's my hot take, because I'm a big run differential guy. I think it's great for forecasting where teams are going to end up. And we mentioned the American League East. We mentioned the AL wildcard picture. The Red Sox have the best run differential out of all those teams. So what I'm predicting here, my hot take, is that not only will the Red Sox, at the very least, have the top wild card spot at the end of the year, they might contend for the division. I'm just saying, because the Red Sox.
You're saying, but you're not saying. You're still not saying it.
I'm not saying it. But the Red Sox, like the Yankees, put it this way: at the beginning of the year, the Red Sox were not as bad as they were playing, and they've proven that. The Yankees, they also haven't faced any adversity yet, really. I mean, they're not as good as they've been playing either. The Red Sox weren't as bad as they've been playing. The Yankees are not as good as they've been playing. So I think when you kind of level that out, do the Red Sox get within 5 games? Do they at least make it interesting in the second half? Let's see what they do at the trade deadline. Can they keep playing as good a baseball as they can? And it starts really next month, because the Red Sox have not played good baseball against the American League East. That's been their one Achilles heel, is they have not played good baseball against the American League East, and in their schedule next month is predominantly against American League East teams. So we're going to find out what they're really made of next month.
See, he's saying, he's just not saying
saying it.
He's not saying it. He's saying. So don't worry. Tune in with us every week here. We got the Takeoff. He's Jared Carrabis. He's the Rocket. That's the branding right there. So hang with us on the Sweat, the Takeoff everywhere, every single Tuesday. Jared, thanks very much, man.
Thanks for having me.